Okay. So
but you know what? No. Let me get this out. Sometimes
we're live. We're live. Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't give. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I go on these shows and podcasts, and like Sirius XM Radio has a show on there that a famous comedian named Earthquake does.
Uh-huh.
And he has 6 guests.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you can't get it, lose your breath, lose your turn. You can't get a fucking word in edgewise.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that balance. We started out doing 3 candidates, and it really felt like nobody could really talk enough, especially with talkative hosts too.
Yeah, I'm
So
guilty as
I think
charged.
2 is good, but and Michael, thanks you have been here every single time.
What's going on?
Food truck. And I got to introduce you. I know you're tired of hearing this, Michael, but I always say every time. Michael is all action. And well, so is Phil, too. Phil's run for office many times, but I got to tell the story. When Hurricane Helene hit, I'm in North Carolina now. I'm from Michigan originally, but Michael Harbaugh drove his food truck down to North Carolina and was literally shoveling mud out of the basements of like buildings that had flooded. So he is all action. I just want to say that. And he's
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. It's nice to meet you still, Steve. Thanks for being here.
That's very admirable, Michael. Most people in America, if you really think about it, they got a pretty flimsy resume.
Yeah.
So to have something like that on your resume is demonstrates good character and high quality individual. So I'm honored to meet you.
Hey, thank you.
Well, I'm the only one here as a co-host that hasn't been a candidate. Phil's been a candidate, and Matt Ho, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a veteran, more famous than the rest of us. He ran as a Green in North Carolina, and he is also all action and fought back against all the legal stuff he had to deal with the ballot access. And so we're no joke. We're action.
Yeah, one of my favorite comments in my comments section from that video when I was mucking out these basements of these buildings that had 3 foot of mud in the bottom of it and full PPE gear. And one of the comments was, "Oh, look at you out politicking in the middle of a natural disaster." And I said, I'm just like, would you rather have me sit behind a desk and tell you kind words of poetry about like what I would do as your elected representative, or would you want to see at least some bare minimum action and work? And so, like the haters are gonna hate, but whatever.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's always true.
So, Steve, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us how you got into doing this and what your goals are.
Okay, yes. My name is Steve Hill, candidate for the 37th Congressional District here in Los Angeles. I'll just put it like this. I was born on the north side of St. Louis, dirt poor. Anyways, come from a military family, joined the United States Marine Corps when I was 17 years old. Every man in my family served. My father was in World War II. My brother's in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. 2 brothers, one in nephew in Desert Storm, and I myself served for 6 years in the United States Marine Corps. After that, I got out. I was in close proximity to Los Angeles, so I came to Los Angeles to work in the aerospace industry as a machinist. I was a computer numerical control machinist, worked on highly technical machines making highly precision parts, basically for the B-2 bomber and stealth programs out of exotic metals. Anyway, I got kind of bored with that after being Marine. That was kind of a step down to me. And I kind of missed the camaraderie of working as a unit and also serving my country. So I went and signed up and did 10 years in prison as an officer. I was a correctional officer at 2 different maximum security prisons here in Southern California, one being CCI, which is California Correctional Institution at Tehachapi, and the other being CSP LAC, which is California State Prison, Los Angeles County, the only prison within the bounds of Los Angeles County. Had a big disagreement with the administration after about 10 years, and I was retrained by the state to become a real estate appraiser. Opened up my real estate appraisal business in 2024 and 2004. Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've been at it over 22 years, but this year is the first year I haven't been a licensed appraiser since 2004. So yeah, if anybody wants to talk real estate and affordability of houses, I could speak for 30 minutes just on that alone.
Especially out there. Well, I was reading a bit about your story.
I saw it all, and there are people who need to be in jail. There are mortgage brokers. There's financial people that I know need to be in jail. I was an appraiser. I watched all the shit they did, all the transactions, especially of single family homes. I saw how the values got pushed after the mortgage meltdown in 2008 when we had REOs, foreclosures, and repossessed properties on the market. And I saw how that whole process worked. And it worked almost exactly like Mitt Romney wanted it to. Because in 2012, he said, no, don't give those people any loan modifications. They don't need anything. Let them lose their homes. That way people can come back in and invest in those properties and, resell them. And I was like, I can't believe this fucker said this out loud.
You're right.
It's like, this is how the rich get richer. This is why we have such disparity in home ownership. And of course, like anything else in America, who was hurt the worst? Prominent ethnic group of people lost their homes were Black people.
Yeah.
So
I remember my oldest daughter actually got in an argument with my uncle, who I'm sure is not watching. He's a banker. And she was like talking to him about, we had watched the Big Short. This was years ago.
And that's a classic for appraisers.
Right. And his response was just like, yeah, all those strippers shouldn't have owned 5 houses. And I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, there are multiple sides to this story. I was just like, don't bother. You're not going to get through to him. Forget it. But anyway, so no, I did read part of your story, and wow, like that you had been worked as you said a prison guard, right? Or you worked
correctional officer, yes.
Correctional officer.
As part of the union, CCPOA, California Correctional Peace Officers Association. They're the ones who got me a very nice retirement, so go unions.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, you got Phil's a libertarian, but we can get into that in a minute. About unions. No, I saw I wasn't going to pull it up because I didn't know, to me, I wouldn't want to keep watching my own arrest, but I did see that video of you.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to play it because I didn't know how you felt.
Hey, roll the tape.
Oh, well, it'll take me a minute. I can pull it up while you guys are talking.
Get it.
I will. I think you posted it's on Twitter, I think. I'll find it. Anyway, but you said, I don't know if it was a comment in the post or something, but you said that you felt like you were being treated like you had seen some people in the prison being treated. And the whole story where so wait, you were is it Lancaster, California? Yep. And you were appraising a house?
Yep.
Someone saw you and thought you were casing the place.
Yes. And all I was doing was looking at the value influencing characteristics of the property. It's kind of what I do. I was literally minding my Black-owned business. And someone saw me, and next, 40 minutes later, I've got the deputy at my house asking those same basic rudimentary questions they used to get Black guys on for centuries. Hey, where you just come from? And they want you to answer it wrong.
Right.
What were you doing there? I mean, there's a sequence that we go through as Black men in America. But yeah, I'm still kind of dealing in court with my arrest, and all of that is kind of combined together now. I
was going to ask you about that because you are a pro Second Amendment kind of guy, right?
I am definitely pro Second Amendment, but even more than that, I am pro First Amendment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Excellent.
You know that one that goes, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble to petition the government for a redress of grievances. You know that First Amendment?
Mm-hmm.
I love that motherfucker.
Well, I think it's just really good to hear that we hear from. We had a Green Party candidate on. He's here in North Carolina, Michael Dublin, and because Brian McGinnis, who had his arm broken in Congress, had to. He's left the Green Party, and I think he's going to try to run independent. But Michael Dublin is going to be taking his place, I guess, running as a Green for Senate in North Carolina. But anyway, Michael was part of candidates for Assange, and we did that in 2024. And he came on early on, I think it was February, when we were talking about ICE. And he kind of informed the rest of us, like, this is not shocking for us in my community. Because we're used to this. And he was like, I had people, he was a teacher, he's retired now, but he said, he had a woman say to him, well, if you're just minding your own business, then you don't need to worry about it. And he's like, do you really believe that?
No.
See, I can only, obviously, I'm white. I can only relate.
That is a fantasy for someone like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only relate as a woman being pulled over one night in the middle of the night in very rural Pennsylvania, driving my daughter to camp. And it was kind of this guy, sort of a road rage incident. And I was trying to get around him. And this cop was just unhinged. It's like 4:00 in the morning. And I'll tell you, I was scared because I thought he was just unhinged and he was trying to get me to react.
Right.
It was the most disturbing thing I've ever, and that's the only time I've ever experienced anything like that. But I got a little taste of what that must be like. Yeah. I'm going to toss it to you guys while I find your video. Why don't you, Phil, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just got one thing to add, then I'm going to toss it quick to Michael. It's important to remember the roots of gun control, right? Like a lot of it started in the South with members of law enforcement who were also Klansmen and didn't want people of color defending themselves, right? So, and not only applying it to people of color, but anybody who's vulnerable. I mean, we have members of my party who are LGBTQ, all across the spectrum of any kind of demographics you want. And a lot of their opinions is if they're somebody that's bound to be discriminated against, it's more important to support Second Amendment rights and not expect the government, the law enforcement or whoever to watch out for you because you're vulnerable to everybody, including law enforcement.
To everybody. Even that tyrannical government that the Second Amendment is actually for.
Yes.
To defend yourself against a tyrannical. We all need to be practicing our Second Amendment rights now. Everybody needs to be going to the range because I don't know where this shit's gonna wind up at. The way I see this country going.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, hey, Steve, let me jump in and ask you, man, what are your thoughts on prison reform in this country? You've obviously been on the front lines of it. I haven't had a chance to visit your site yet, but is that a part of your campaign? Do you talk about, the war on drugs, prison reform? Is that like, what's your whole, like, what do we need to do in this country to change things?
My whole opinion on that now has kind of been altered by being in the justice system, trying to obtain justice for myself. And damn it, if I had $1,000 for every inmate that told me, Officer Hill, I shouldn't even be in here. And I look at this shit that I'm going through now, just trying to get justice for myself. And I'm like, wow, and in the African-American community, we have this culture bullshit called snitching. A lot of inmates told me I wasn't even the one that did it. It was somebody else, but I didn't want to give them up. Mm-hmm. But, when the cops focus in on you, I know what it feels like now. It's like, wow, this enormous force, this power of government, and somebody puts it against you. And, just being in the process is punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Because all the shit that you have to do, the hoops you have to jump through, sometimes suffering mild humiliation. It's like, really? I'm a fucking veteran and a retired peace officer, and I got to deal with this shit?
We used to talk about that with the Assange case, that how long they kept him in, that was the punishment. I have to tell you, I'm sorry, I've looked at so many. Can you point me to where the best? I've looked at your Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and I'm not sure where that clip is. Do you know where the best
I know it's
spot is?
Steve Hill for Congress.
It is on that. Okay, then I'll pull that up. Okay,
But you have to go back a while. I haven't posted it in a while.
that's okay. I'll find it.
Criminal justice reform.
That's where it's definitely at.
Yeah, criminal justice reform is a huge issue in Wisconsin too. There's way over proportionate members of the Black community incarcerated. And when I ran for governor in 2018, and I'm not going to remember all of these, but we had a 6-point plan for criminal justice reform that included things like legalization, but also you should be able to vote once you're off paper. Well, I think everyone should be able to vote, even when you're incarcerated. It's ridiculous to lose that right.
Yeah,
but
things they changed that law in California.
Yeah, ending mandatory minimum sentencing, allow records expungement, make it easy to pardon, demand people be pardoned. There's so many different ways that this could be attacked, and unfortunately, and I don't know which party or if you're running with a party, Steve, but
independent
Republicans and Democrats, mainly Democrats, pay a lot of lip service to that issue, and then generally
they don't give a damn. It's just not in their will. It's got to be something that's in your spirit. It's got to be something that you got to know that it's to be real. The disproportionality.
Yeah, you got to be willing to fight for it. Yeah,
and you got to be able to say no. We got to change this shit. I mean, when I was an officer, I'll never forget it. I was standing out in front of Charlie Yard, cell block 2, with some other officers waiting for meal release, and something just hit me to express my disdain for just how many Black men were in those prisons in the 90s. And here in LA County, a lot of it was because of the crack epidemic that hit South Central LA. So now all those guys, of course, want to be close to home. It's the only prison in LA County. So that's the closest prison to LA. So they can get their visits and,
And on that topic, go look up the CIA pushing cocaine. And
I know. Trust me.
I know you know. I mean,
the whole story.
Anybody listening?
I know the CEO of Death Row Records, a guy named Michael Harris, a.k.a. Harry O. I met him in prison. I got his number now. We talked a few weeks ago. No, that was a few months ago now. Spoke to him. He's a big Trump supporter. We got into a fucking argument. So now I'm beefing with the CEO of Death Row Records. And I have no guns.
Yeah. And even the appalling thing is, even in 1997, the U.S. Senate had a commission on that whole the CIA pushing coke and crack into L.A. and they admitted that it happened.
Yeah,
but it was so far after everyone was so upset about it, and then at that point, only the Black community was upset about it anymore, right? So it got brushed under the rug until Gary Webb got shot for writing that book in 2002. Committed suicide by shooting himself in the back of the head twice in San Francisco.
Yes, so amazing how that works.
That's how deeply it goes, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can remember. They made a movie about it.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was who was it? What was the actor? I can see his face.
I don't remember.
But
I found the clip, so if you want to, I'll play it now.
Okay.
It's on TikTok.
And let me set the scene up for you.
Yes.
When I lived in Palmdale, before my wife and I decided we would split because of all of this me fighting the police shit. We lived on the side of a hill overlooking the Antelope Valley, Palmdale and Lancaster, overlooking Lake Palmdale. And I had a circular driveway in the front. I had a vehicle gate and I had a utility gate. I was pulling into my circular driveway portion. And before, as soon as my truck came to a stop, bam, all of these agents. There must have been 15 cars, I don't know, 20 agents.
What?
But they were just on me, and I was like, the whole, it's a private street, a dirt road, but it's private. So to see all of these cars, I was like, what? And then to have someone approach you to just tell you out of the blue, you don't know what the fuck is going on.
And this was the story that I read in a couple of papers, this was all because someone saw you appraising.
No. See, this is where people get
Okay.
it confused.
Okay, we'll clear it.
Where that thing that happened with the deputy coming to my house was in 2020. When I got arrested, it was in 2022, and it was actually for speaking out at a public meeting about the politicians creating division in the community.
Oh, okay.
And the sheriff of LA County was there. Congressman I was running against was there. Assemblyman was there. The county supervisor. All these politicians were there. And Alex Villanueva had me arrested about 2-3 weeks later.
Okay, is this the thing where you spent a couple hours in jail the day that you were to turn in your signature, so you didn't?
Yes, and I was rushing, forgot. I lost focus, and then I had to try to rush and get my signatures like out in front of a Target store, and people were just signing where they didn't know if they were registered or not, but I didn't have enough signatures. So in a small way, it affected me running for office.
Wow.
Let's see. Okay, so let me. This is on TikTok, so I hope it's going to be clear enough. A second, and the way TikTok. I wish I had just made a separate file of this beforehand, but anyway.
I could have sent it to you.
It's okay. I should have created it. I honestly didn't know if you wanted me to play it. So.
Oh no, I'm getting ready to start screaming really loud about my arrest the next week for the next week.
Okay, let me turn the volume. Hold on.
Nothing.
Yeah. Not getting it, Kelly?
Yeah.
Are you not seeing it?
We're not seeing it. You're the only one watching
Oh
it.
crap! All right,
You're being
I'm
very
sorry.
patient.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead and just step right
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Wait, why are you touching me?
I just want to
We
make sure you have
started
Wait, you don't
over.
have to touch me. Use your verbal command.
Can I make sure you have no weapons on you, sir? Can you please come out?
Wait a minute. Why are you using force?
I want to make sure that you're-
Why are you using force? You don't have to use force. You start with a verbal command.
Sir, I want to make sure you have no weapons on you, please.
You start
Thank you
with a
very
verbal
much.
command.
Can you put the phone down, please, sir?
No, sir, I'm recording.
The reason I stopped you right now.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a warrant for your residence, sir? Okay.
Put him in handcuffs.
That's the asshole that came and turned my phone off, which is a
You have
violation.
no weapons on you at all?
Yep.
None at all.
Okay, so that's it.
None at all.
Starting over
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
Sorry
start-
about my goof there.
But yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. I've been dealing with that for 4 years,
That's
That
crazy.
is-
and they still have my weapons. They have a shotgun and a deer rifle that belonged to my father, who's a World War II veteran.
I read that.
They are family heirlooms of the highest priority to me.
Okay,
Wow.
so
So
this was
are they
all.
keeping those because there's a case open, or because they just
No, the probation period is over with.
so civil asset forfeiture is what's going on, right? They just taking your stuff and they
Yeah,
don't give it
I
back.
don't know what's going, but that goes to the Fourth Amendment, being deprived of your personal property.
Okay, so I'm sorry I had that wrong about the appraisal thing. And okay, so but this is just because you were speaking out at a public forum. Okay.
Right.
And they say you were being threatening or something like that.
Yes. That's all they got. There was no like, we have these things in California called mental evaluation team, MET team, MET. Well, I know the guys in the Antelope Valley that are on that team, and I asked them. I said, "Do you guys find any paperwork about why I was arrested?" Nothing. Just this last April 6th was the first time I saw paperwork, and it said possible threat.
That's just terrifying.
Possible fucking threat.
But that was on your property when
Yeah.
that happened?
Yeah.
Who are you threatening on your own property? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You weren't public.
Yeah, I don't know. It just makes my heart thump. I mean, I just to see that is very
Yeah.
distressing.
Well,
I don't know.
on if this will make you feel better,
I
on
mean,
June,
sorry, it's not. I'm
on
not the one that should be
on
upset, but I'm
no,
just saying,
I
if I
know.
were in your shoes, I'd have been freaking out. But you
Oh,
were so calm.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, they need to, for real. You know what I've been thinking? They need to conduct a study on me to try to figure out why I haven't fucking killed somebody by now.
well, you worked in a prison. You know, you were a Marine.
Yeah,
You
but
know
you
how
know
to.
what? That also brings you some relief because you know what? At this point, I'm 64. I can do 10 years in prison.
Mhm.
And they might make some of it justified and only give me 5 years. I don't know. But I ain't willing to take the chance. So fuck it.
I would have been upset. I
But
remember.
I mean, yeah, people, oh, I'm sorry. That's all I've been hearing for 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry this happened to you. Politicians, oh, I'm sorry, but they won't do shit about it. Nobody will expose this. It's about 15 politicians that know about this arrest. Nobody will expose it.
And what about local media? Did you get any more?
I just did a press release this morning calling for former LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who is running again. He lost, he's running again like Trump did. Him and the Attorney General Bonta. I called for Bonta to resign and for Alex Villanueva to suspend his campaign. That press release should be approved in a day or two. They got to make sure I'm a human and all of that. But that's going to be my media part of it.
Nice.
So-
tell us a little bit about like your campaign, like who the opponents are, like how long they've been in office for, and like.
Well, I'm running against Sidney Comager Dove. I think this is she's campaigning now for her third term, if I'm not mistaken.
Takes APAC money. I saw that.
Oh, yeah, she takes. I think it was 700 something thousand and right there should be a disqualifier for any candidate running for office this cycle. If you took money from APAC and you know they are war criminals and guilty of a genocide.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
it's just the opposite though. If you don't take APAC money, then they're going to come after you rather than if you do. That's the country we live in now.
I'd rather for them to come after me.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say everything. All this anti-Semitic shit. I'm an atheist. Let's get that clear. And if anybody can tell me 2 places on earth where there are atheists killing one another, let me know. It's always the religion people, and people have to separate Israel, the state, from religion.
For
so
sure.
You can't be, oh, you're anti-Semitic. No, I'm anti-Israeli government because they do evil shit, things that are inhumane.
Yes.
Goes against the grain of a civilized society.
Well, I will. Have you all heard about the DNC autopsy that has no mention of Gaza whatsoever? I just have to mention that.
Yeah, we heard it. I mean, come on. That's why I'm an independent. I'm so damn sick of these weak ass Democrats. When they go low, we go high. Bullshit. No, when they go low, we kick them in the face just like they would do us.
That's right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
They're all part of the problem.
It's so true. You know, I just got into an argument with somebody, and all the details don't matter. He's a former candidate. It was on candidates for Assange, but we got into it about Massey. And anyway, he's like, "Oh, women's rights and all this stuff." And I said, "The Democrats, go look up. They wouldn't publish the ERA and the Constitution. They fought it in court, just like Trump did, while they drive around a reproductive bus."
Right.
It's all just for show. And I think the more people that wake up and realize that, I'm so glad that we've had so many good independents, and we do need to get some more libertarians on here and more Greens too. But we've had so many great independents. We've been going since really end of January with mostly people from the Independent Candidate Network.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a lot of people deciding to not run as Democrats and Republicans because those parties are filthy, but also the small parties, my Libertarian Party included, are just not effective. And the big parties have, misrepresented what we stand for and what we do. and made it more difficult. So if you run as an independent, there's still some nobility with that, right? You're just a citizen standing up for your rights and other people's rights, et cetera. But once you join libertarians, Greens, constitutional, whatever, then that just gives them extra ammunition to smear you with. So running independent, I think, makes a lot of sense, especially congressional level or smaller.
Yeah, what kind of stuff? Now, I should know this off the top of my head, but is California, is that an open or closed primaries out there?
We
And
have
what's-
a what do they call it? We have a jungle primary.
Oh, that's right. It's like the top two. I
It's
forgot. I
it's the
should know
top
that.
two.
Yeah.
No matter what party, it could be two Democrats, it could be two, whoever gets the top two, they figure they're taking the two most popular platforms and making them run off. You know,
So what's the lay of the land in your district? I mean, what do you?
and we got 8 candidates running for
I
office.
saw it. Yeah, it's a lot.
Sidney Comager Doves, like I was saying, is the incumbent.
Mhm.
Another loudmouth black woman that ain't doing shit. I'm just putting it out there. All I got to give you is the truth, my opinion.
I was hoping for some comedy tonight. It's been so serious, and I saw you were a
I
comic, and I'm
should
like,
hit y'all with some of my Charlie Kirk jokes.
oh no, maybe not that. But next week we have a very serious one because I have a USS Liberty survivor who is a candidate in Missouri, and then Karen Ortiz coming back, and Matt Ho will be here. So that's going to be very, very serious. So
Oh yeah, you better have some fun now.
right.
So it's comedy week.
But so what are you, I mean, how do you feel, how's it going when you're campaigning? Do you feel like you're getting more and more support?
I just went to an event for the downtown Los Angeles homeowners association. It's a conglomerate of all the people that live in the high rises and the ritzy, the lofts, and some of them really ritzy. They had an event, and man, people I had an impromptu table with a stack of my cards on it.
Mm-hmm.
And man, before I knew it, there were people all around my table listening to what I had to say.
Beautiful.
There were even some that was like, I'm just right there on the spot. I'm voting for you.
That's great. And you're not taking any donations,
No,
I saw.
I'm not taking any donations because I find it to be highly hypocritical to put a donation button on your campaign and then turn around and say, we need to get money out of politics. It's bullshit. Can't have it both ways. Either get it out and make politics pure, or you have politics polluted with special interest groups, corporations.
We've heard that debate.
Everything but the people. Everything but the people get a voice. That's what that Citizens United bullshit brought us.
Right.
Supreme Court. No, corporations are not people, my friend.
Right.
They're just not.
Well, Phil, you want to take this because you make a good point about this. I think.
Oh
We've had
yeah,
this
I mean,
debate.
I completely agree, Steve, and libertarians are kind of split on it, but and you're not a religious person, so this isn't really an appeal to that. But the idea at the founding of this country was that people are people and not something else, right?
Right.
The idea that a person has some accountability to their community, that a person has a soul and will suffer consequences for decisions that they make.
Mm-hmm.
That is the foundation of why a republic works and why a democracy can work. If you give rights to entities that aren't human, that can interchange who the leadership is whenever they want to, who can reform and recombine and escape, and plus not only that, but give money to political candidates and parties so that the rules are created so that they escape accountability. You have a system where people have no chance until that's repealed. But unfortunately, that system is in place. And so how do you upend it? I mean, we fight, you're fighting, I've fought in my campaigns. I'm sure Michael fought in his. But the fact is that the corporations run it. And all politicians do is tell us things that we want to hear when they want to get elected, make excuses for things that they don't do when they do get elected, or things that they don't fight for, and take money from the corporations, whether they're lobbies, unions,
And
whatever.
And you know how we
that's who really pays them, and that's who they really represent.
How we circumvent all of that bullshit? How we go all the way around it
Mhm.
is by having publicly funded campaigns.
I don't disagree. I
Where
mean, I agree with you.
where a qualified candidate who really wants to do it get a certain amount of money, get a certain amount of media exposure, equal time, equal money. Put your message out there, and bam. I mean, I would, my tax return every year, I would gladly give $20. And if
Yeah.
everybody did that, money would be out of politics.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people that make those rules or could change those rules are the same people that are on the take, right?
Yeah,
That's where we're stuck.
They're the same dirty bastards that won't employ any term limits.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Same concept.
Right.
Exactly.
So, Steve, I don't know if you had a chance to, we don't have to stick to this exactly, but I often will pull this up. It's our candidate pledge, and you can pick anything off it if you want to talk about it that, you're for. I think it's like, to me, I mean, I researched all of these items. They're all like the majority of Americans support them, and it was what I saw, a sort of a cross between, libertarians and Greens and independents when we were doing the candidates for Assange broadcast. And we were mainly focused on, the First and Fourth Amendment stuff, but also the whole, then Gaza happened. And so, and all the candidates were anti-war. But do you want to take any of these and just tell us your stance on them?
Okay, you want to start with number one, no more war?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'd like to add a few words to that. No more war for Israel. Period. We're at war right now for Israel, and all of these religious nutcakes think that everybody's going to go to Israel when God or whoever, Jesus, comes back, whatever story they have. But that's all linked to that religion, the white Christian nationalists. All of this shit is like a gang unit. I mean, it's like a mafia. It's like a crime family, and it's faith based. These same people are the type that said, yeah, this country was founded on Judeo-Christian nation and thoughts and beliefs, and that belief included they didn't mind owning other people.
True.
So yeah, we need no more war. Period. I mean, look where we are. We got AI coming along at a rapid pace. Look how supposedly intelligent we are. Why are we still using these primitive tactics like piercing another man's body with a hot bullet just because their leaders can't agree?
Right.
I mean, this shit is insane. I mean, collectively as a species, we should know better.
Right.
Damn.
It's so barbaric. We should be beyond it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So freedom of speech, I think we covered that one.
yeah, I think we covered that. And and because I tell jokes, though, I have to give you a different perspective. Look at what they're doing to late night TV. Jimmy Kimmel, Colbert, the late night who make and comedians have been making fun of politicians since George Washington.
I'm not sad to see Colbert go, I gotta say, though. He was funny for Colbert. I'm not, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, I'm too old to stay up that late anyway. So,
but no, I know what you mean. I'm against any kind of censorship.
Just because they're saying something you don't agree with. I mean, this is what this country is all about. Freedom of speech.
I think there's far more censorship going on online on the smaller channels and everything, though. But
I think that's same too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. In the surveillance state, out in California, I don't know if you guys have it. We have this flock program with cameras everywhere, and they're recording people's license plates, and they can track you from the moment you leave your house to wherever you're going until you get back home again. They can tell you every place you've been. I don't want to be under that kind of old Soviet Union surveillance type of bullshit. Like, what happened to our freedom?
Right. Hey, I got a clip for you guys. Do you want to see a clip that will blow your mind? I don't think I played this during Candidates for Assange, but speaking of Israel and the surveillance state, this came from Vice News. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds, but you got to see.
Of the world's global private investment in cybersecurity.
Scary.
No surprises there.
That was 2017 too.
Wow.
Well, the
Anybody
Congress just
remember?
passed legislation with kill switches in cars, right? Recently.
Yes, but anybody remember a particular journalist that had his car ran into a tree at 100, 200 miles an hour in LA
Mm.
back in, I don't know, what was that, 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's all been in Vault 7 that WikiLeaks released, but very terrifying,
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, it is terrifying. And I'm here in LA and I just look in amazement every time I see a Waymo vehicle. Totally no driver.
oh yeah, you've got those everywhere, don't you?
And oh man, it's so many of them on the streets. You can't go a mile without seeing one. And
Wow.
they're doing their thing, They something gets in front of them, they stop. They can see everything, know everything. That means you're most likely, if you drive past them, you're being recorded once again.
So there's a little bit of there's some big controversy with the flock cameras here in Dayton, Ohio. They just voted. The city spent like $800,000 to roll out 20 or 30 flock cameras 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a very close vote. It was 3-2, but with the city commissioners, and they supported to bring in the flock cameras, right, to monitor crime and all that good stuff. And they said it would only be used by the Dayton police. That information, all that data would not be shared. Well, guess what? Guess what? They just completed. The activists have been asking for this internal review by the Dayton Police Department. They were dragging their feet, and the Dayton Police Chief just resigned here. And right after he resigned, the internal audit came out that they were dragging their feet on. And guess what? They were giving all that info to ICE. They're giving it all to ICE.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Dayton just canceled their flock cameras, and it's in Cincinnati and in Cleveland and all over Ohio right now, and I think in cities across the United States.
Not LA.
It's
Not LA.
documented
Yeah, I can
that
vouch
they're
for
giving
that.
it to ICE.
In Wisconsin, our activists have managed to get Dane County, which is the second most populous county in Wisconsin, off of flock cameras, and 3 larger communities in the Fox Valley, Neenah, Oshkosh, and Appleton. They're probably going to use just a different vendor and do the same thing, to be honest with you. There's always a workaround, but we managed to get angry and bring enough people to city council meetings and county board meetings to get them to not renew their flock contracts. But it's easily provable that they leak data. It's not, they don't even hide it very well.
Yeah.
Well, what's scary is when you see some of I think it was in Utah, used to talk about people coming to city council meetings and protesting, but it was the huge data center out there. We talked about it last time, I think, Michael, but I forget how big it is, but it's massive. And there were a ton of people there raising hell, and like 3 commissioners, they just don't care. And they're going to vote for it anyway.
Right.
I don't know. There's some
3-0.
Yeah, but there's something about, I don't know if it's really going to happen because
They
of
want it.
money
They want
issues.
their data center.
Yeah.
I was driving. I was driving with my father-in-law today through the countryside. We were on the way to go pick up a nice new stove, and he's like, "Oh, look at these big farms right here." And he was driving by some big family farms, and I was like, "It'll look good right there." He's like, "What?" I was like, "A data center." We had a good laugh over it. It's a sign of the times, but yeah, these things are invading our cities, invading our industrial area, invading our rural areas. It's a big deal here in Ohio.
Well, that's why I put about the surveillance state on the contract, and specifically, if you go to the website, you'll see more that Bill Binney proposed that there should be former director of the NSA proposed that there should be an independent, group that sort of oversees, because the situation you have is so many members of Congress don't understand the tech, and that's how a lot of this stuff has been pushed through, or even local governments don't understand it. And so that's really a problem. The candidates, elected officials and candidates running for office need to try to, get on top of these things before they're implemented. I mean, now we have to fight to undo all of it,
Yeah.
They get paid to turn their heads.
I think sometimes also you just have to follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these politicians have been, I'll just say, reached out to
Yeah.
Some,
from
pretty much
these
all
young
of them.
companies, and they're pushing for it. But I mean, that's why things like this should be on the ballot. Let the people decide. You know, let the people decide how much business the government, or of their business, the government should be privy to. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll ask you the next one then. So there's this great cartoon. I asked the guy permission to use it. It's on the website. I don't know if I can find it right now, but it just shows this where the government has this big, view into us, but then we can't see reverse.
Right.
So it's very backwards.
Yeah, they don't reciprocate.
Right, exactly. And so that's why I have government transparency on here. And I really think, and this is something I'm working on doing some research in this area, specifically regarding election integrity, we'll call it. But I only hear people on the right talk about it typically, about these NGOs and all these nonprofits that are set up.
Agencies and
Yeah, but I don't.
And these people leech money off. They're like, some of them are just like Ronald Reagan's welfare queens, sucking the tit.
Right, they call themselves nonprofits, but they're turning a lot of money.
You know, with employees with huge salaries, right?
Oh,
Nonprofits, but they're people that run them and make a lot of money.
Yeah, like the German Marshall Fund and all of these things. And there's been some more transparency about the money coming into those. The Quincy Institute has a think tank tracker now. I've talked to one of the guys that worked on it, but I want to try to track where is that going, because I think we have a massive influence campaign being done on the American public that is happening through all of these NGOs. And the Gray Zone covered this years ago, a National Endowment for Democracy, but it's really an issue that is not talked about enough on both sides, and I think it really needs to be. So I just want.
But you know what? With all of this other circus atmosphere garbage going on, some things are going to be prioritized automatically in people's minds.
True, of course.
And if you go to a gas pump, especially in California, where cheap as I can find is $5.89 a gallon.
Oh wow! So, people aren't worried about.
People prioritize their stuff. Right. But as far as transparency goes, I think the Freedom of Information Act 1974 needs to be updated immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of things they hide from us.
I mean, they can work around all these.
We don't know, and these politicians are corrupt as man, especially in California, because California is majority, all the power up in Sacramento legislature. It's all Democrat. Governor's a Democrat.
Right.
Attorney General Democrat, top law enforcement guy, and everybody knows, who's been walking the earth a little while, that power does one thing absolutely, and it corrupts absolutely. When you got all the power, you are corrupted absolutely, and that's what California is right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Can't withstand that.
Well, we've talked about demilitarize the police. I did notice, though, you said, what did you say? I don't know. It was a quote in an article, so maybe I'll ask you if it was correct. I think you said you didn't care for having been a correctional officer, you didn't care for the, just totally defund the police. Is that an accurate?
It's nonsensical. You'd have to be an absolute idiot to want to defund the police. Come on, think about that. Somebody in my house threatening me with a gun. You think I want the fucking police to show up with a slingshot or a knife? No, it's absurd, and it's extremist, and extremism is the same, bullshit on the left as it is on the right.
Right. Well, reforming.
Most of the people are in the middle. I say 70% of the people in the middle. They just want common sense shit. Laws that affect their lives, to make their lives a little bit more easier, a little bit more affordable.
Right.
This isn't that difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we won't get stuck on this one too much. I guess we've kind of asked you about, election security, that also ties into like ballot access and any hurdles that candidates have. Anything you want to touch on about?
Okay, can I touch on this? Can I touch on this?
Of course.
I ever get to Congress, I'm going to be writing some legislation that stipulates that if you get caught dicking around with our election system, hiding ballots or getting rid of ballots or doing anything to circumvent a free and fair election, your ass is going to jail. And Phil, this is why I do agree with mandatory minimums. You get caught messing with our election system and making people lose faith in our elections, your ass is going to jail. Minimum 5 years.
Yeah.
The problem is trying to track that, because we have proprietary software on these voting machines, and that's the problem. So
yeah, everything's going to be a problem because as long as the system exists, it's going to be someone trying to infiltrate it and change the outcomes of elections. Even if some of these rural areas, man, these people think they are actually kings and queens, and they can do anything they want. Some of these little county officials, their total population of 8,000 people in their entire county, but those are 8,000 votes.
Yeah, well, the Board of Elections, really anywhere without sunlight, as they say, without the sunlight, there's no disinfectant, and they will do things that are if people aren't watching. So but let's see, what else do we have on here? Well, you talked about legal stuff too already, but I think that's something.
Environmental.
Mm-hmm.
I have an opinion on the environment. I say we keep our ass away from the moon until we can get this shit on Earth straight.
There you go.
Right.
I mean, look at those. Look at the polar ice caps. They're melting at an alarming rate. Isn't anybody concerned about that? I mean, I grew up in Missouri hunting and fishing. Beautiful quietness of a lake, a clean lake. On a Saturday morning, man, when you left out of the ghettos of St. Louis and now you're out in this peaceful lake just fishing with your dad. That's beautiful. This earth is the only thing that's keeping us alive. So why would we destroy it?
Yeah.
It makes,
Well, you probably have in California, where you are, maybe more than other districts. The reason I put this on here, and I did focus specifically on what people have in their, like pollution in their districts, because I think this topic, again, it's dumb. It shouldn't be a polarizing issue, but it is.
Right.
But if you talk to people about the stuff in their backyard, it's easier to sort of talk about that. But do you have any?
I've got active oil pumps in my district.
Ah.
I mean, oil. The things that you see going like this, pumping over in the Baldwin Hills area, eastern side of my district. But California was an oil boom town, I think, like in the 1920s. So, when I drive through there, I can't help to be concerned. Like, well, something goes really drastically wrong, and oil starts spewing, like on the Deepwater Horizon in the Gulf when they couldn't turn the oil off.
Yeah,
like, it just keeps coming out.
How long was that? It was like for a month or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it kept coming.
Killing all the seafood. All the fishermen couldn't drink.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So, yeah, it's so much. It's so much that society and this day of age, people to be worried about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did we get here? I wonder sometimes.
Well, I know how we got here.
Corruption, right? I mean,
we got here out of a lot of hatred and racism. Because when
people
Donald
believe in what they want to believe rather than what's true.
Trump was around, he's telling these people, they don't care. This motherfucker hate the same people we hate. Let's vote for him.
I have been a little bit surprised. I thought there would be more people that Trump campaigned on, being against war and everything. And there's definitely
they don't care. They have no.
But you know what? There is an age split there, though, and I think that's true on the Democrat and the Republican side. Right? Wouldn't you say, Phil? The boomers are the ones that are hanging on to the establishment. on
The
either side.
demographics were very, very telling with the Massey
Yes.
primary. That was 55 and over, went way over the top for whatever his name is, the Trump puppet.
Yeah.
And Massey did very well with younger voters. There just weren't enough of them, and not enough younger people vote.
Do you know what else though? I gotta mention this.
Younger people don't vote at the propensity of the
Right.
older.
Not
higher
yet.
True.
voters.
Yeah, not yet.
Right. But
Hopefully,
Kentucky,
hopefully, when they get old enough to care more, when they have
Well, that's what
children
it
and
takes.
grandchildren and homes and everything, then they'll care more, and hopefully their morals and their principles don't change.
Yeah.
But
I
that
think
seems to
they
be
do,
what-
but you know what? Kentucky, this is a big factor. Kentucky has closed primaries,
Mhm.
and the deadline to switch your registration was December 31st. So
Right.
it shut out over 40,000 independents and libertarians just in District 4.
Wow.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep.
So I think that's actually a hopeful bit of information, because when you realize that, I think if it had been a later deadline, there probably would have been more.
When you talk about election integrity and rigged elections, and what you're studying mostly, Kelly, is things that happen on election day or right before or after. Well, my point on that, and I agree with everything you're looking at, is that the elections are generally rigged way, way before that by who gets access to the ballot, who gets funded. I mean, even amongst Republicans and amongst Democrats, the person that's going to stir the pot and fight the establishment is the one who's not going to get funded, not going to get endorsed, not going to get on the ballot. So, except for independents who are largely, vastly underfunded and underrepresented in media,
Of course.
you're going to have a choice between a Republican and a Democrat, both of whom have already signed on to play ball with the establishment and turn their heads at things and be complicit with things. That's why they're there. If they weren't there, then they would have been treated like Thomas Massey or many, many other politicians who got weeded out earlier. So it's already rigged.
Do you want to address it's last but not least, healthcare reform, like what you would like to do? And that is this, I put it last on our list because it tends to be an area that Greens and Libertarians and third parties don't always agree, but they all agree it's broken. So what would you do to?
What I would do, you know what? I just realized this. You guys might not be able to see my whole shirt. It
Yeah, I was
says,
going to ask about that. There you
I
go.
saw it on one of your posts.
Oh,
yeah. So I was able to get police and ICE in there in the same word.
I saw that.
Yeah, healthcare. Healthcare is very important to me. I've seen people file bankruptcy for medical emergencies, and I would like to see a single-payer healthcare system. Basically, that's taxpayer. It gets all the corporate interest out. It gets all of the greedy bastards out. Instead of having sympathy and compassion for people who are sick, they're trying to figure out how can we charge you $800 for one Tylenol tablet.
yeah.
It makes no sense. I mean, some of these things, and that's what's kind of wrong with our whole society. Everything is predicated on the damn dollar, and everybody, you know. How do we know this? I live right up the street from Skid Row. And how do we know some of these people, instead of having addiction problems or mental issues, how do we know some of these people just don't want to play this fucking involuntary game of Monopoly that we're all forced to play no matter what? Go to school, get an education, get a trade, get a job, do something to become viable. Make your time worth money, get a job, work for somebody else, start a business. You know, it's the whole, you know, sometimes I look at the homeless people and I envy them. Like, wow, they have nothing really, they really don't have much to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, in California, it's not cold. So, but I mean, young people though, you're facing that and you can't make ends meet. So,
yeah. And it's an issue.
Well, you see how the government targets people who opt out, right? Whether it's ranchers in Oregon or back in the day, the Black Panthers who are setting up their own ways of feeding people and educating people and taking care of their own. It doesn't matter really. If you are different, if you're opting out of the system, they'll find a way to make up a story about you, slander you, make you sound crazy to the public, and justify doing things like happened at Waco, where they're going and kill men, women, and children, and somehow the public swallowed that.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing. that's a good thing for us to wrap up on, I think, because I really want to. I touched on it a little bit, but I had this person, like I said, that was a former candidate, kind of come at me. And I believe that they're doing this because when you're trying to do what we're doing, and we're not the only ones, the Independent Candidate Network is, a lot of people are trying to sort of see past the left, right, whatever you want to call it. And when we join forces, that is very threatening. And so I believe that this person that's been targeting me has been trying to get me to, I mean, just like, don't talk to this person, don't talk to this person, don't, this kind of stuff. And I think we're going to see more and more of that because we are a threat when we join forces. And I think we just need to stand our ground and not get like petty. Like, I really want to see like the discussion about healthcare. Not too long ago, Matt Ho did a broadcast with or interview with Richard Wolff, who I'm sure you guys, Michael, you know who he is, right? And you probably do too, Steve, or maybe you do, Phil. But he's on the left. He's a socialist, and he had done this debate with Gene Epstein years ago. And it's, what's the guy's name? Reason Magazine. Gene, another Gene, I think is his name. Anyway, it was a debate. And I would really like to hear a real constructive, like a follow-up to the two of them talking. One's a libertarian, one's a social, pro-capitalist. But the libertarians will always say, we don't have and I think it's true, we don't have a pure capitalist system. We have, socialism for the corporations, right? That we have the bailouts for the corporations. So we're having this argument, but it's not even really based on what's actually happening. And so anyway, I saw that Matt was talking to him, and I was like, oh, I got it on Twitter. So I tagged Gene Epstein, who I've never talked to before, but I was like, I want to see a discussion between the two of you again. And he liked it. So I thought, okay, maybe I can, I don't know, somehow facilitate that kind of a conversation, because I think when you really start stripping away all the labels, and I'm not saying we're all going to agree on everything, but we got to get down to like what's actually happening first, because we don't have a pure capitalist system.
Well, first we had to get everybody to agree on what the basic facts are.
Right.
That's the big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
People
And I know
agree on facts.
Yep.
Yes.
Matt,
one fact that we can agree on, though, is that the whole point of the current healthcare system that we have now is to enrich the insurance industry.
Yes.
Right.
And that's why whether you support a free market healthcare system or a single payer healthcare system, it's equally hopeless, because it's the insurance industry that controls Congress and the executive branch. So we have a common enemy. And I like to say, and when I campaigned in 2024, I campaigned with people all across the spectrum saying, we may disagree on some things, radically disagree on some things, but we will never have a chance to disagree where it matters, because we're all on the outside trying to fight our way in. So to the extent that we can work together to break down the wall and get people, meaningful elected positions in Washington,
right?
Just so that we can have the discussion, just so we can have the debate about the healthcare system in a way that might make a difference. Right now, it doesn't matter what we say or what we think.
Yeah, I think Phil, that's a big part of it. Getting people to realize what team they're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not on the inside. I love George Carlin's line. It's a big game, and you're not in it.
Yes.
That's right.
That's precisely true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I can just watch hours of Carlin. He was so spot on.
That's my comedic idol. I know his daughter. She's out here.
Wow.
Kelly Carlin. I was performing comedy in Denver, and she was the keynote speaker one time. That's where we met.
Oh, wow.
She's the one that told me, kind of guided me, kind of told me that I didn't want the life of a comedian. And I hate to it, but I already came to that conclusion just by seeing what the comedy industry is like in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
All of these vultures that prey on young comedians to get stage time, don't pay them any money. The clubs sell these inflated. I just performed Saturday at a club. Now I was performing, and I got 2 Coronas, 2 beers before I go on stage. $28.
Wow.
I told the waitress, I said, I could have bought a fucking case for $28.
Two.
Two.
or yeah. Something.
I will give them credit. They both had a lime on top.
You should have a GoFundMe to buy Steve a Corona.
Yeah.
Give 14 bucks so Steve could have a Corona before his show.
Fire up that old GoFundMe.
Well, I would love to hear more of your comedy. I was looking online and I couldn't find much.
Oh no, I don't put my. I know I don't put my stuff online because
Okay.
I'm working on a comedy special.
Oh,
and,
good. Okay.
and I want to have that comedy special out. I want to put it out about a year before 2028.
Okay.
Before we go to the polls in 2028
Okay.
for the presidency.
All right, just in time.
Because
Okay.
I want to make people understand, and I think I have my finger on the pulse of America most of the times. I want to make sure people understand who we are as a nation.
That's
And
right.
we are absolutely diametrically opposed to this Trump agenda shit that's going on. He is not America.
No, and I think half the people that voted for him feel that way now.
Yeah. He is the antithesis
Well,
of what
Yeah.
America is.
no, I
Greedy,
think you hit
rich,
the nail right.
corporate, heartless bastard.
So
You're
we
hitting the
need
nail
to.
right on the head, Steve. You got Bob and you got Malcolm there behind you.
Yeah.
Those two people are up in
Hey,
my
those-
office as well. You know,
Those my heroes.
That's right. They are. They're true. True heroes. True heroes. I know. Malcolm's in there.
Revolutionaries.
They are. But hey, I have to jump off here. Kelly,
Yeah.
Phil, Steve. Let's follow up again. Steve,
It was really great to
keep
meet you,
kicking
Steve.
ass with all them libs out there in California, and let them have it. The system
Yeah.
isn't working. The Democrats have screwed us. They're lying to us. They're lying to
Hey,
us.
Somebody's got to tell the truth.
Someone's got to tell them.
Look at Trump. What Trump did as a black man, as a rich white man in America. Look at all these executive orders and the shit he's getting done. And I look back at the Democrats and say, "Damn, you couldn't get us no
They can't get anything
reparations."
done.
Well, they
I can
won't.
get
The
it done.
impeachment is fake. They won't just call for
Ah.
Article 9. I mean that whole thing is just grandstanding,
Couldn't
right?
get anything
Yeah.
done. They own the presidency,
Nothing.
both chambers of commerce, or Congress. Can't do nothing. But you see Trump over here just running
Right.
roughshod. All right, I got to go, guys.
All right,
Okay.
guys.
Thanks, Michael.
Kelly. Phil.
Peace out.
Okay,
All right,
great
appreciate
to
you
meet
guys.
you, Steve. And I'll put up some clips.
Okay, Kelly.
Yeah, Steve, stay in touch, brother. I fully
Oh, yeah.
support you. And if there's anything we can do from Wisconsin to promote you, then I'd absolutely do so. Let me know.
Yeah, just call people and tell them in my district to vote for change.
All right.
Cool.
Good talking to you guys,
All
man.
right.
Good night.
Anytime
Thank you.
you
Thank
have me
you.
back, Kelly, I'd be glad to
All
chat.
Yeah, great to meet you. Yeah, we'll do it again with maybe a bigger panel or something. But this was great. You held your own the whole time.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
you.
All right.
All right.
All
Good night, Kelly.
All right. Good night.